Good morning, students. Today I am going to discuss with you the effects of Simon Commission on the nationalist movement of India. As you all know that Simon Commission was not greeted in India, and that was the time when Mahatma Gandhi decided to find a way which could relate the Indians and can unite them under a freedom struggle. And do you know, it was during this time that Mahatma Gandhi, he found salt to be a powerful symbol that could unite the nation together. So children, on 31st January 1930, Mahatma Gandhi had sent a letter to Viceroy Irwin in which he stated 11 demands which Lord Irwin was supposed to fulfill. The demands were related to the general interest of all the people of our country. That was related to the different classes or industrialists or to peasants. And the idea was to make the demand wide ranging so that all the classes within the Indian society could identify themselves within. So the most stirring of all was that the demand to abolish the salt tax. That was the most important point of this 11 demands which was kept by Mahatma Gandhi in front of Viceroy Irwin. Now this Viceroy Irwin, he took this 11 demand in a very light way. Though Mahatma Gandhi, in his letter, it was sort of an ultimatum to the British government that if the demands will not be fulfilled by 11th March, then the Congress would launch a civil disobedience movement. Now this Viceroy Irwin, he was not at all willing to negotiate with Congress. As according to Mahatma Gandhi, salt tax was not supposed to be taken by the British government, as salt was something which was consumed by rich and poor alike, as it was the most essential items of food. So the tax on salt and the government monopoly over its production, Mahatma Gandhi declared it as illegal. It's an oppressive policy of the British government. So, when Lord Irwin did not took it as an ultimatum of Mahatma Gandhi, or you can say Congress, so Mahatma Gandhi started his famous Salt March accompanied by 78 of his trusted volunteers. And the march, a very famous march, was over 240 miles. So Mahatma Gandhi started this march from his ashram in Sabarmati to a Gujarat, a small town of Gujarat, that is Dandi. And Mahatma Gandhi along with his followers walked for complete 24 days, about 10 miles a day. And on the way, thousands of people, they stopped to hear Mahatma Gandhi so that they all could understand what Swaraj actually means. So on 6th April, they all reached Dandi and ceremonially violated the law by manufacturing salt by boiling seawater. And children, this marked the beginning of civil disobedience movement. And you won't believe that people were now asked not only refuse cooperation with the British as they had done in 1921-22 movement when the non-cooperation movement started, but under civil disobedience movement they were also told to break colonial laws. Thousands of the people in different parts of our country broke this salt law, manufactured salt, demonstrated in front of British government. As the movement spread, foreign cloth was boycotted, liquor shops were picketed, peasants refused to pay revenue and chowkidari taxes village officials resigned, and many places, let's say in forest also, people, they violated the forest laws, going into reserved forest to collect wood and graze cattle. So this movement became a widespread movement. Now British government was worried with the development of this movement. So the colonial government, they began arresting the Congress leaders one by one. Now children, this movement, a time came when this led to violent clashes in many places. When a famous devoted disciple of Mahatma Gandhi, Abdul Ghaffar Khan, was arrested in April 1930. Now, as he was arrested, the Indians, they all got angry and they demonstrated in the streets of Peshawar facing the police firing. Many were killed, and a month later, Mahatma Gandhi himself was arrested. And it was during this time that industrial workers in Sholapur attacked police posts, municipal buildings, law courts, railway station, and all those structures which symbolized the British rule. Now British government was frightened. So when they were frightened, they responded with a policy of brutal repression. Now these peaceful satyagrahis were attacked, women and children were beaten, and more than lakhs of the people were arrested. Now this was the situation, children, when Mahatma Gandhi had to think once again to decide to call off this movement. And this was the time when he entered into an pact or an agreement with Viceroy Irwin on 5th March 1931, which was known as Gandhi-Irwin Pact, in which Gandhiji agreed to participate in Round Table Conference in London, and in return the British government agreed to release all the political prisoners. So let's say in December 1931, Gandhiji went to London for the conference, but the negotiations broke down and he returned disappointed. Now when he came back to India, he discovered that the government had become a new cycle of exploiting the Indians. That was the time when Ghaffar Khan and Jawaharlal Nehru both were in jail. And it was during this time that British government had declared Congress as an illegal political party. And a serious measures had been imposed on Congress or anyone in case any meetings or demonstration were done. So it was during this time when Mahatma Gandhi, he decided to relaunch the civil disobedience movement. Thank you.